So we have the start of our navigation menu. But let's continue styling it a little bit more. Make it look a little bit more like the sort of navigation menu we see or expect to see on web pages. So back to my style sheet. What I'm going to do is I'm going to style a few more elements. So first of all, we know we're going to style our nav menu, and it's going to be LI. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to style the A link, and what I'm also going to style is the nav menu, the list element A visited. So this is to style the href link and the visited. So whenever you see a link, i.e. the what our menu is at the moment, and the visited, is going to be both styled according to this. And also note that I'm actually using a comma here. You can actually comma separated various elements of the element you're styling, in this case the nav menu LI, and you just use a comma, and then they both would use the block that you now create for your styling. So that said, I'm going to style the background colour, and in this case I'm going to use aqua. Just for now, we can always change colours if we need to later on. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to display block, display to block, and add some padding of 0.2 EM. I'm going to remove the text decoration. I'm going to set it to none. That'll remove the line underneath the link, etc. You know, we're just going to look like some nice text. I'm going to do the font weight. And I'm going to set that to bold, just to give it that little bit more standout a bit. And I'm going to set some margin, and with margin you can actually set it to be everything, i.e. just 0. You can, in this case I'm going to set everything individually, so top, left, right, bottom and left, or you can say margin left, margin right, or margin minus left, margin minus right, and do individual values. But in this case I'm just going to do it all in one go, so 0.2 EM and 0. So that's styling the top, right, bottom and left elements, or adding margin I should say. And what I want to do is I want to set up some border radius, and I'm going to have to do this 3 times using WebKit Moz and just the standard border radius, because certain browsers need certain plugins to do this. So Chrome and Mozilla might use different actual plugins to do this, and then some would also just use the bog standard HTML border radius. So in the case of this sort of styling, and this is not just the only one, you have to do this a number of times, 3 times, using the different WebKits. So the first one is WebKit border radius of 3 pixels. The second one is going to be Moz border radius of 3 pixels, and then the final one is just border radius of 3 pixels. So we've got the 3 different ways of doing that. They're all the same, it's just that depending on the browser, some may have to use this WebKit, some may have to use this WebKit, and some browsers will just use the standard HTML5 border radius. It just covers all batches, you know. And the last thing I want to do is I want to actually add some shadow to my boxes to give it like a 3D look. So I'm going to go box shadow. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go 3 pixels, 3 pixels, 3 pixels, 3 pixels to give them 3 pixels again, left, right, etc. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually also going to add a colour for that, and I'm going to use RGBA, and this is going to be the color of our shadow. So we're going to go 43, 43, 77, 0.5. Now you might want to actually use a different shadow color. You can. I'm actually using RGBA value to do this. I'm doing it all within the same box. You don't necessarily need to, but just to give you an idea. Done. Okay. So let me just save that. And let me go back to our web page. And now you can see I've got this nice actual menu box here. All looking lovely. What I'm also going to do is I'm also going to just nav menu A, so the A element. I'm just going to go display of type block and width of 80 pixels. I'm just going to be setting that as standard, so all the nav menu A elements are going to be of display block and have a width of 80 pixels. Again, let's just have a look at that, and all it's done is actually reduce the size of that menu buttons. So there you go. We've actually now changed the menu, made it look a little bit more like buttons, sort of the expected menu bar. So let's move that on further, and we'll be doing some more changes in the next lecture.